radio contract.
Let's go see.
What kind of people are we?
Anderson, what?
One giant leap for
Guess you
mankind.
just have to go wake them up now, won't you?
Hello, Americans. You know what the news is. In a minute, you're going to hear the rest of the story. Amelia's little boy never quite seemed to fit in. When the other kids zigged, he zagged. When the crowd cheered, he booed. And when the world tucked itself into a bed at night, he painted the town red. Even as a child, his angelic mother wondered why Providence had bestowed such an unruly child on her. It seemed every other day the local constable or the school marm would show up on her doorstep, her struggling boy in tow, to inform her of his latest rebellion or misdeed. Ever since the boy's father had left the family under a cloud of shame after having been accused of growing truffles in his codpiece, and for wearing a codpiece and nothing else whilst parading down the streets of Vienna with a trombone, the boy had been more or less left to rule his life as he saw fit. His mother, Amelia, who didn't believe in corporal punishment or the antiquated conventions of rules or that the world was round or that mercury wasn't a good elixir to cure migraines, instead encouraged her little lad to explore the world, to breathe the sweet breath of youthful freedom, to convince the senile former mayor that he wasn't in fact the angel of death. She turned to the boy's extended family for help, of course. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, his inbred cousins, hoping against hope that someone could reach her troubled lad and turn him away from what surely would be a life of crime. But, as is often the case with great minds, the boy's stubborn resistance to any form of correction defied logic and the best efforts of mortal men to correct them. In fact, the parish priest even considered the possibility the boy's mother had made a pact with Satan or lost a bet with God, and this was the result. He suggested that she petition the government to have her son declared a human cure for leprosy and cart him off to the subtropics to dwell in a colony there. But a mother's love is a powerful thing. And even after the boy set fire to the barn, the church, the school, her sister, all on one particularly rough Easter morning, she still saw the good that seemed tucked away beneath the lad's rough exterior and a mountain of antisocial behaviors. Even when the boy forced the 89-year-old town spinster to fight a rabid bear after he turned it loose in her parlor while she slept, she still wouldn't give up on her little boy. If there were just some way to divert his attention from the violence, the beatings, the muggings, the thefts, the rapes, the arsons, the poaching, the attempted murders, the vandalism, the graffiti, the treason. If there was just something that a 10-year-old could do safely without injuring himself or others. Her son, of course, had a talent or two. He could beat the kitchen pots and pans for hours on end, often while screaming at the top of his lungs, "This loud enough for you, mother?" or, "Oops, I've soiled myself again and I'm using it as spackle." Perhaps music was his lifeline. She enrolled the boy in a local musical conservatory, and though the lessons proceeded well for, roughly an hour or two, but eventually, after the child attempted to practice proctology on the austere musical conductor with a priceless Stradivarius violin, she reluctantly took him back home. And after locking her darling boy in the basement with a bowl of water and bread, she returned to present him with a stuffed bear and two items that would forever change the history of the world: a pen and a notebook. Just a simple pen and an ordinary notebook. That's right. For you see, when she returned to the basement to administer the more sedative to her lovely son, she saw before her astonished eyes the stuffed bear reclining on a makeshift couch and her troubled son astride a chair, pen and notebook in hand, furiously scribbling notes and asking the bear about his feelings, about his dreams. Words like your id and phrases as Oedipus complex and the unconscious mind. And as you may have guessed, that 10-year-old who had been the scourge of Vienna the terrible toddler who would torture the tutors who tried to tame him, the Teutonic tot who turned from torching the town to trying to talk to the troubled, little Amelia's boy who had been called that filthy S.O.B. with a thing for his mama by no less a luminary than Carl Jung, was none other than Sigmund Freud. You heard right. The father of modern psychology, Sigmund Freud, the man who turned to the world of dreams to solve the mental maladies of the masses, was a mischievous miner with a mind to mangle midgets. So the next time you find yourself in a psychiatrist's office, reclining on the leather couch while the doctor asks you why you hate your mother, remember it was the mother's love for her little boy, Sigmund, and his weird love for his mother that brought you there. And now you know the rest of the story.